All right. And we are live on my side.
What is going on, sir?
What's going on? Ebontis, man. Flashpoint is back. I am excited. Lots and lots to talk about. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good overall, not too shabby. Kind of an interesting morning for both of us, but got to squeeze this thing in, so it's good.
Mm,
Apparently, Bungie is just dropping some new stuff all the time, so more
yeah,
coming our way, which is nice.
exactly. Content, man. What's going on? You're getting content updates. You're getting roadmap. But we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I thought this was actually going to be a quiet week, and then
Same thing. Yeah.
every time. But hey, I'd rather have
Mhm.
more than less to talk about. Just means they keep it going.
Exactly.
Um, But yeah, development roadmap. We'll just kind of
Mhm.
jump right in. Was
Mhm.
the big thing that dropped on Wednesday? Saw on Twitter. Deej was just like, development roadmap update question mark, and everybody's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty easy yes. And that being said, we got a little bit of news. So
Mhm.
we already know that May 29th, we're going to have update 1.2.1, which I don't think anyone expected anything that soon. 3 weeks.
Mhm.
So apparently they figure out something with faction rally improvements. They've got a couple, week and a half to figure out what that's going to be. They'll probably drop that info next week after Iron Banner goes this week.
Mhm.
But faction rallies is coming back. Do you think they've had enough
Yes.
time to make it something? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
we were hoping for some big changes. This seems a little fast. I was actually figuring this might be summer or fall, like to do
Yeah.
bigger changes.
This
So
is quick. This is definitely a quick turnaround. There's no doubt about it. It's gonna be interesting to see how they handle. Obviously they want to make a more substantial impact, and I want to see what stuff they kind of implement with that. Shout out to Unknown. He's got a video of some of the I believe not the ornaments, but some of the weapons in there. So he didn't seem inspired by the weapons, but I definitely want to see how they really approach it. Actually, did you find out about the like some factions having like the exotics, masterwork catalysts and things exclusive to certain factions?
oh, I did not see that.
Yes. So what? Shout out to Unknown, man, Unknown player. He's got a really good video out right now, and yeah, apparently I believe like I know one of them for a fact is making me as a warlock question. I think I believe it's New Monarchy, the warlock helmet, Eye of Another World,
Yes.
has a unique ornament, from my understanding, just a pledge to future war call that week.
That's
So they
interesting.
look like they're trying to add specific emotes and ornaments and actually exotic catalysts as well. I believe
Catalyst is interesting. That'll be a real.
Graviton Lance, I believe is I think it, don't quote me, it's not New Monarch, it's either the catalyst for Graviton Lance is gonna be, I believe it's Dead Orbit.
Really?
Yeah, man. No one's got a great video out right now, and it talks about that. I'm like, okay, so they're definitely trying to make those decisions tougher as to which faction you actually choose.
Yeah, seriously. Well, unfortunately, Graviton will win because I mean that's the gun everybody wants. It's killing it in
One
Crucible.
would think.
Yeah, I was like, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, but I mean, the problem is this is a fashion show. Destiny 2 has shown
Uh,
that if those shaders is right, people
well,
would
right
not let
now
go of New
there's.
Monarchy.
I was like, right now there's some function to go for. Function, if good enough, might take over faction because nothing else had mattered except fashion before. And now some
Exactly.
other things are starting to matter.
Mhm.
Random aside, though, I did
Yes,
want to ask you real quick.
sure.
Um, Typically, I mean, there's other content out there and stuff like that. But if you guys want to actually hear some time, if you just want to hear the devs actually open up a little bit,
Yeah.
the DCP podcast, they just
Yes.
had some time and the devs actually got to talk. It was nice. The
Mhm.
podcast guys mostly listened. And again, it's your choice if you want to
Mhm.
hear other people or not. But honestly, just to hear the devs, Josh Hamrick and John Wisniewski, just go at it for a while, open up, get on the road. I mean, they say some things you're probably going, I don't know if he was supposed to like totally say a couple things. They're not like big,
Mhm.
crazy things, but it was just nice to hear those guys talk, let us know where they were coming from.
Yep.
Um, just all the different pieces for, I mean, they did want it to be more of a fashion show where things were equal, and then they figured out things didn't work. You can actually see some of their thought process. So if you're wondering, it's a
Mhm.
lengthy one, but I think it
Yeah.
was number 84. So look for the one with Hamrick, and it will
Mhm.
let you guys get a little bit of behind the scenes because it was nice just to listen to two devs that have been working their tail off. They've been through Halo days and everything else, and
Yes.
it gives you an idea of what their process they were thinking of, what they wanted to do for, you know, getting people on the same playing field. Let people, you know, everybody complained about transmog and stuff before. So now the armor doesn't matter, but you can look how you want to. But now they've learned the values of armor and stats and stuff do still matter. So they've tried to appease both sides. So it's just a nice piece if you guys want to jump in. And again, if you ever want some more info, want a little listening time after our couple hours kills your ears, we are happy to, you know, let you guys hear the devs, because those Bungie podcasts don't come out that often. So to get those guys on one for a while, it's a good one to listen to.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Shout out to DCP. It was a fantastic episode. He definitely put me onto it. And it, like you said, it's great to hear the thought process, even the, you know, just the reason that they come to certain conclusions, and just to hear the history from where they started, especially with Wisniewski, when he was talking about the Bungie days and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And even his history, I think he was like a game tester.
Yeah, he started as a game tester, which was
really like NES days or something like that. So it's always
he worked for Nintendo. That's right. That was cool.
Yeah, man. It's very, very cool, man. So yeah, definitely shout out to those guys. Check that out. And you can actually hear these guys interacting with the community, man.
Yeah. So it was just a good, long, in-depth one with those two. It's nice to see a long-form discussion with people you want to get a little more out of, as opposed to their very curated things sometimes. It was nice to get a little freedom out of them. But yeah, so 1.2.1, you guys know we got Warmind, all the good stuff is there. We'll have our thoughts on a couple pieces as we go through. But for what is to come in the future, first, we said faction rally improvements. Is there anything? I mean, Catalyst is kind of crazy. I know pulling it back here, but man, that'll make you think.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you right now, like, I like that kind of stuff, because at the end of the day, like, again, you know, it's going to force my hand. I'm a new Monarchy guy. Like, that's where I've been at in Destiny 2. And you talking about a Warlock specific exotic, you know, ornament on one, you know, one faction, another, an opposite faction. You're talking about a very wanted Catalyst. And apparently the range stats, the base stats really jump up. You know, Graviton, we know, is all the rage right now in PvP.
It's like the one that, and
shout out, it's the meta. Straight up, it's meta.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah, so it's like you're talking about making that even more ridiculous.
Yeah, seriously. So yeah, that'll be interesting. So we'll probably get next week. We'll have some stuff to talk about, I'm sure, with regards to that. And sorry, guys, if in the future weeks we have some weird timings, I'm going to take the blame on that one. Cognito's got us get the solid schedule. Mine's all over the place for a little bit. So
no, I can't let you take all the blame. I know you got stuff. Actually, next weekend, myself, too, is going to be a little crazy. I'll actually be in Chicago that weekend. So, yeah, we'll be touch and go how we figure out Flashpoints the next couple of weeks. And then E3 I got to come up after as well.
So we might do solos one side or the other, but we'll definitely try and keep you guys abreast of all the new info. So
absolutely.
But as you guys saw in the thumbnail, if you did click on this one, you got this far at least. The next thing is called Crucible Labs. And literally the first thing Derek Carroll's like, all right, what is Crucible Labs? Because everybody wants to know. With regards to Crucible Labs, actually, you want to jump in? I'll let you steal this one for a bit.
Yeah, man. He just said basically, you know, people like, hey, what is it? And he said it's going to be a new feature intended to give you a peek behind the scenes, a lot of voice in the creative process. Crucible Labs will give every player Destiny 2 access to experimental PvP content, and then we'll have a chance to solicit your feedback to guide final iterations. So you're going to hear more about it before launch. They just want to give us a preview. This is extremely dope. I am very proud of them with this. I didn't expect this. I'll be real with you. I did not expect anything like this. I know this has been a want from the community, the PvP community. Big shout out to Fallout Plays and those guys. You know, they've been wanting stuff like this for a while, because we all felt like, you know, yeah, the private matches is cool, but I think what this represents is part of our outcry as to why they're so slow to update the meta, right? Yeah. So now if you have this specific environment, this Crucible Lab, where we can, if they want to buff, you know, scout rifles one week, grenade launchers.
That would be a big. Let's start there.
Yeah, let's start there. Let's start with grenade launchers. Let's start with, you know,
it's like go until those feel good, and then we'll move to something else.
Exactly. And just to test it, and then the community can give that real-time feedback, like, hey, I'm digging the place that you got them. Right now, my fighting lion actually feels like it's doing something. My play of the game, grenade launch, feel like I'm doing, you know?
I got killed by that actually a couple times in a game.
You got killed by a fighting lion?
Yeah, I felt real stupid. But no, like legit, he had like just I got just like tagged around a corner. I was like, what is happening? And it was like fighting line. I was like, are you serious right now? So I don't know. It was like it was a weird match. There's only one recently, but somebody was having a little fun with it. I guess somebody figured out how to use it. I mean, you got a mini grenade launcher in your energy slot. It has some potency just because it's sitting there, but it always feels they always feel weak in PvE.
Yeah.
Now PvP it may feel a little bit better if you got like a 2-tap or however that thing. I don't even know the perk on that thing. I haven't looked at it in so long. But in general, like I know in PvP they could be reasonable. I've been killed by a few here or there if people are accurate, but PvE they're awful.
Awful.
I mean, I don't try to say that word very often, but you feel so weak when you use those compared to basically anything else. Like, I don't know. So they need some help across the board. But being able to test weapons in here does sound really good. I mean, even if it's just another playlist, like they put another knob, like another button somewhere, and you're like, hey, instead of jumping into doubles, go down below this. Hey, this is our Crucible Labs. Maybe it's not quite as obvious, but if you know it's there, they'll say, okay, for this week, we're going to go throw this out there and see what happens. And they can at least feel stuff out. I like the fact that they're giving the public an option. Now, do they want the public to spoil stories on like a complete, test realm like World of Warcraft where you test out the raid? No, because that does kind of take away from things. But at least you can get gunplay feeling, testing exotics, get ideas out there. That'll be good. So
love it, man. That is fantastic. Didn't expect this. Welcome edition. It's salute. We're getting it soon. That's the other thing. Dude, we're getting it soon. 29.
Like 2 weeks less than. That's not
crazy. So, yeah, didn't expect this.
Yeah, no. And the third one we have all been waiting on, and we will wait and see. Yes. Now, this is part 1, so they're not all coming yet, but exotic armor sandbox changes.
Dude, this is like my birthday. This is like my birthday.
Mine's in July, so we're almost
documented. I got you. I got you. Dude, it's like, how I feel about exotic armor. I've been screaming D1, like, just really, touch these things up, man. I mean, I got Aeon Fluxes doing nothing. I got, so much cool looking gear that the functionality is not good. And we know that they tend to always gravitate towards the weapons being tweaked and buffed and nerfed, but nothing for exotic armor. And yeah, man, I got a ton of stuff in my vault that I'm looking at Lunafaction boots. I'm looking at, U Starfire Protocol.
I mean, so you got like Lion Rampart, you've got Dune Marchers, sprint speed, little just random stuff, as you said. I mean, okay, so Orpheus Rig, that one probably won't get touched. It's OP as it is. But yeah, there's so many of them. I mean, even just Sunbreakers are still the Aeon whole thing. Yeah. That whole group of stuff is just not great.
Not great at all. Even that new one, that one that comes at the end of the Warmind Anti-Brace Strike, it's kind of like this weird looking helmet. It's for all 3 classes. It kind of has that same Aeon Flex with the grenade recharge or something.
Verity's Brow or whatever.
Yeah, it's like they've got these cool concepts, but it's like they've got to really. It's like what I'm very hopeful because let's be real. Based on what they did for exotic weapons, they deserve a clap. Like they transformed Graviton Lance, which was the worst, what I'm saying, into a fully functional PvE weapon with splash damage and one of the most dominant Crucible weapons right now. That thing is a laser beam. It has no bullet drop off. I can 2 to 3 tap people. It's disgusting, right? So just to see them do these kind of things with that, Skyburners, all these great weapons. Look at, Vigilance, exotics becoming, that's how they're getting the time to kill down by making exotics exotic.
Right.
And now you're talking about armor. I'm excited, man, because I really feel they're getting it now. Wisniewski, Hamrick, and those, I think they're putting it together, the Sandbox guys, and knowing what we want. So now it makes, like, this is the first time I'm playing Destiny. Sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. Sorry.
No. All I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm excited. This is the first time in Destiny 2 where I sat there and I looked through my exotics. I'm like, damn, I don't want to take Graviton off right now. But damn, my Crimson is like, it was a tough decision now. I had that feeling like I had a wealth of these arms, what to use for what situation, because each of them gave me great functionality. They were feeling truly exotic. That's the first time I felt that in Destiny 2. You know what I mean? And
It's been a while. Like,
yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I'm really happy about it. So to see what they've done with weapons, I'm super excited about what they can do to armor. I can't wait, man. I'm super excited for this change.
So me too, with one caveat.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
It's not that bad. It's
Spoiling
what
my
we've
party.
and no, it's what we've talked about before. Armor still needs to have more stuff to it. And that stuff I
Absolutely.
think we've got to wait for the fall. But
Absolutely.
if they can take the exotics and point them in the right direction, like many other things they've been doing, I'm happy to see where they take them. So
Give me one exotic that you really want to see something special with. Exotic armor.
Just because it looks so terrible, I would love for people to have to wear this thing for it to be so good. The Eternal Warrior Titan helm.
Yo, first of all, it looks like your Roman centurion. It is one of the most dominant. Shout out to my boy Neil Before God in my clan. Like, he's first probably Destiny. He used to just wear that helmet just because of the way it looked.
Yeah.
He didn't care that it wasn't functional. He just loved the way it looked. So when I told him, yo, it's coming back, he was like, really? So he's been trying to burn through faded engrams. He's trying everything to get that helmet. But yeah, that would be dope. I'm with you on that. Eternal Warrior needs something real dominant.
Something major. Like, and then again, something else for like the Warlocks, the Stag. Really cool and unique looking, but you're waiting for whatever it is on death. Like whenever I do my Zero videos, I'm always saying, I don't know where all the like I may not be the expert on where all of them rank, but if you have to wait for something to proc on death, that's not very useful. Like dearly to that can be an additional piece, maybe just like a bonus, but I think they're afraid with so many of the exotic armors to make them the game changers that now they've done it with the weapons, so we're gonna see. But so many of them are so minor, you're just kind of like, okay, like Celestial is like if you're running a raid and you're a hunter, unless you're running Celestial, that's like your one go-to.
Absolutely.
I mean, so Knucklehead Radar, I have radar. Okay, that does squat for most things. It definitely does 0 for PvE. Give me a PvP like okay, so if you have Knucklehead Radar on and you have that thing on, say you start tagging enemies, and if you look at them and they're tagged, they take more damage. Or I don't know, but I was like, you gotta give if they want it to be a PvE and PvP thing. I mean, they may not be equal, but some basic stuff like. Yeah, we need a little more. So
absolutely,
they did well with the weapons. They stepped outside of the box. I mean, Darcy doing 4x damage. You've got tractor cannon suppressing stuff with void multiplier now. I mean, things are better. Not everything got a buff that I feel like it needed. Some things still could use some work, but
I agree.
Some of them got enough of a buff. Some did not. But those bigger leaps, I want to see some bigger leaps with the armor. And then maybe they'll go through and pass and do some weapons again later, but they need some massive jumps to make some armor really stand out. So I actually am torn between, crap, what do I want those decisions to be tough. And if we can get to that, then I'll be happy. So we'll see.
Absolutely.
So we've got exotic armor sandbox changes, I guess phase 1 for May, and then it says July. It says more exotic armor sandbox changes. So we got 2 sets, so they won't all be at the same time. And maybe if one tweaks and it sucks or is too much, that'll be their round 2. But speaking of July's event, I don't know when yet. So I mean, pick your Tuesday and put your finger on a calendar, and we'll see if you're right. But first, we got your Solstice of Heroes seasonal event.
Interesting.
So Solstice, any shot in the dark? That's going to be the summer solstice, which is typically like June. Well, this one's on Thursday, June 21st. So put it towards late June. So that's literally a month later. We're getting an event potentially if they're doing it for Solstice. So any shot in the dark of what this thing's going to hold?
I mean, not really. I mean, I'm just kind of thinking, some type of unique summer thing. I'm thinking like almost like a summer dawning kind of a deal.
Yeah. Instead of snow, it's just like really bright and sunny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all right. I don't know.
I'm thinking that something seasonal, and it'll be interesting to see how they handle it. As long with a caveat, as long as it's not Festival of the Cost level.
Well, ridiculous. I would say for Crimson, they learned. They got their
hope so.
They got their kind of stuff kicked back at them pretty fast. And Crimson was a quick turnaround. They were throwing in Grims at you. If you wanted to go for the exotics, it was a checklist. Like, it was better on that front. So they learned a tough lesson and made a fairly fast switch. So that was actually nice to see. So I'm hoping Eververse seems to be in a better spot.
And you know, another question I got is that I wonder if we haven't heard much from SRL.
I've heard nothing. And
SRL is going like low key away. So I'm wondering maybe they might try to sneak that in there too.
I was like, I would like it, but I was like, I wish they would just be like, and September and SRL is just always there. Yeah. Like, just leave it out there as an option. And because if sometimes I'm just like, I just want to go drive my Sparrow, I just want to race for a little bit, and I don't have like a Forza that I want to pick up. I was like, I know it's not for everybody, but it's just like people fought in Destiny 1 to make Sparrow Racing leagues like, hey, you're going to go around Mars, you're going to come back here, we're going to set up our runs. Like, they fought hard for it. Now, maybe it might not have been as popular as people had hoped. Right. Me, I kind of had some fun with it. I mean, it was mostly cosmetics, but you know, Sparrows are one of those things we use on most planets. Mercury, we got gypped, but most of the planets you can use your Sparrow. I mean, sorry.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But the Sparrows are at least like, that would be a way to hype up, because they all do the same thing. You want the 160 Sparrow that summons quickly, and then whatever else is, so be it. Like, have that time, have Sparrow Racing be an option to where, for one, you bring back some of the tricks where you can have some fun with them, and two, get some more perks on those Sparrows, get some crazy ones in there. Like, I don't know, if you're going to do Sparrows, give me something that actually lasts afterwards that I want to use, as opposed to something I've got that's already at 160. Give me something to grind for. Say there's a 170 Sparrow, and it's like, what's the big difference in driving around a Sparrow that's a little faster? It doesn't change much in the world of gameplay.
Yeah, but if you how they grind balance, man, they're so like scared to get that do that route, because they. But
it was like, okay, so say you had to win 100 SR, had to win 100 races, and you got a an exotic Sparrow that's like 170 speed. 170. Just faster than everybody else, but you work your ass off for it.
I'm with that. The only thing is they're gonna have to balance it by making that said Sparrow like damage, resistance is lower. I'm telling you, the community, you know how the community get, oh, he's winning, I can't beat him. You know how they get with the people going like,
yeah, and that's one point I want to. I just want to say, suck it up, Buttercup. And kiss my
get good. Get over with
No, it's not even that. Like, so for those that never played World of Warcraft, you may hate these references, but there's a reason it's brought up in relation to Destiny, because Destiny tinkers with being that type of game, but is always afraid to do it. So that being said, there were weapons in World of Warcraft that were their versions of legendaries, or their versions of epics, or even a step above, where literally like one person in a clan of 40 would have a weapon. It took like an entire group to run an instance. You'd have one piece drop. Then another piece would have one piece drop. And if it's the guild leader who's like the tank of your entire team of 40, they have that weapon because they make your whole group successful. But they're the only ones. I mean, you're going to have a really short list and a hard grind, and it's limited supplies that drop. And not everybody had that stuff. And that's some of the pieces. Not everybody gets everything. And I'm sorry to say it. And that's one of those that may tick people off. I know you are, but this is one of those, it's like, go play Mega Man 3 on an SNES and tell me how much you beat your head against.
It's not fair, Ebontis. I don't have the time commitment to play SRL like you, and I shouldn't be penalized because you have worked super hard and got the super fast,
so you're telling me if I put time in and put effort in, then you deserve the same thing I do. And if you say yes, that's the wrong thing with a whole lot of stuff. So that random preach aside. But it's just one of those pieces. Like, I would love to see stuff that is so elite and hard to get to. I like the fact that Redrick's Claymore is in there. I'm digging that. We need some more stuff on the PvE side. Yes. So give us some more of that stuff.
Yes.
Put a random couple things in Nightfalls. Put a random couple things in the Prestige layers. Have some stuff that you've got to like work through and fight for. And not everybody's going to get the same stuff. But those who do, it's like, holy crap, I want to grind. I mean, that's how you build up some of that hype, is actually getting stuff in the game that's hard to get to.
Exactly. If you that engagement of wanting to strive to get it, people would play. That's why the people would play trials every week. They would play, whatever these activities were, because that you strove for it, man. You wanted that item.
Yep. So I I think they're learning their lesson. The making Destiny 2 for the casual audience was a mistake. And that's part of why I said go listen to that podcast from DCP.
Absolutely.
They've learned. They're like, okay, we tried to make, it more of a fashion show because people complained they wanted to wear different stuff. And they're like, okay, well, now we're getting a lot of pushback because armor doesn't matter. So they're like, on their side, they can't win. They're trying to appease audiences. And they're like, okay, who keeps playing your game? People like us on the podcast. If anybody's listening to this, who's still watching Destiny and not playing Fortnite. I mean, those are your people that want to play the game, and those are the ones who are going to stick with it. Those are the ones who have to give them a reason to stay around. I have a buddy who he's my Destiny buddy. I couldn't even get him back for Warmind.
Wow. I've got people like that too, man. Shout out. Like I said, it was last ILP, Iron Lord's podcast. I mean, I had Bloody Knuckles. I had a couple people on, and these guys are hurt, man. They're like, I'm not coming back. Maybe September. We'll see.
September has to be huge enough to do it, and that's where it is. Like it's kind of limping along, like us that are in there. That's like, okay, there's a word to say, hey, come back. It might be decent to check out, but is it the be all end all? We got to wait for September, so we'll see.
What else we got?
But that aside, yeah, I'm not saying get good, but just know that not everybody gets everything. And I think that would make a lot of life better.
There you go.
Not everybody gets to be an Elon Musk. That should
there you go.
Bounties we've talked about before. I'm still excited to see where they take these, whether it's exotic bounties through Xur, whether it's bounties through Zavala for the week. I don't know what they're going to be. Crucible bounties that are not your challenges that you have to go. If you have to be in the Crucible match to know what you're working on, you don't even know how to build a loadout. I sit next to a computer with DIM. So, I have it literally, I can be like in the match. I'm like, oh, I'm working on this. I can literally throw it in between deaths if I want to. Not everybody has that option. If you're like sitting and you go to the tower and you're like, hey, these are my crucible challenges. Even if he's got the challenges, just like you're working through the Iron Banner ornaments, even if you go to the tower and he's holding the bounties and you can look and then come back and check your progress, at least it's a place to look at them as opposed to being in game.
Yes.
If you're in a Crucible match, I should be focused on fighting, not hold on. Let me click the button.
Let's
2-second delay. And okay, there's the challenges. Like same thing if you're I'll randomly run around a patrol map and all of a sudden do a challenge. I was like, oh, oops. Like I shouldn't oops a challenge. That's not quite right.
Completely agree.
Prestige raid layers hopefully will be coming in July.
Finally,
we'll see what they do with that. I mean, that's no offense to anything. That's too little, too late for most of this because the people who wanted to. That's I mean, let people grind up, let people get up there. Maybe a month at a max, but I mean, by the time this is out, so many people have moved on.
Yeah, moved on from it.
PC clan chat, yes. Year 1 triumphs. This is a new addition.
Yeah.
So what you got?
I think I'm thinking Age of Triumph. I'm thinking that I'm seeing record books in our future. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that they may have some type of record book situation, unique armor sets, unique things tied to it. They're probably going to want us to go about. The vibe I'm getting since Warmind, they're learning. They're learning about minutia. They're learning about us with collectibles. They're learning about that we love to do all that stuff that we did in Destiny 1, and that being input in Warmind, I think is they're expounding upon it. And I think they may have some real cool things tied to this year 1 triumph. So maybe, I guess the only thing triumphantly though is like, okay, yeah, we did 3 raid layers. Oh, okay, but I'm just curious to see how they're going to categorize it. That's what I'm curious about.
I mean, trials, I don't know if it's going to be in there, but I definitely didn't quote make it to the lighthouse like Destiny 1. I have not been to the top this time.
Yeah, me neither. Never.
Not even close.
Not even close.
But we'll see. I like the idea of record books. I hope they keep bringing those back. It was nice to have a record book for Taking King. They always keep them later, like as a reason to come back before the next thing. Give me like some pages in the start of September and then add pages throughout the year. Be like, hey, here's like Crucible Phase 2 or see just more things to work on because that's just another thing to grind for. So it'd be just nice to see it more frequently than just drop a new book at the end of the year. So
with that.
And more exotic sandbox changes. We know that's just I gotta wait and see. Just crossing fingers, they're good.
Birthday month.
That's
your Eternal Warrior right there. I'm calling it. Eternal Warrior, July.
If
Super
it's
buff.
good, if it's actually good. It's just my highest thing right now. That's why I'm wearing it. September gear collections, records, we know, weapon slot changes, weapon randomizations,
the
new
big ones,
gameplay.
the big shebangs.
Yep, those are all the ones they're waiting to see for the big things, and they're going to have to. E3 is going to be interesting. I don't know if they're going to talk about that stuff in more detail yet, if they're going to do their little reveal streams for it. The new gameplay mode is the big one. So some of you guys may have seen Call of Duty's stream yesterday. And okay, and we've got Blackout and conference over. No details. I'm like, really? I was really pissed off about that just because, like, give me something. Like, we have Battle Royale games out there. We know how they work. It is a Battle Royale game. Now, my wondering is these are
Destiny
things
Battle Royale, September.
Well, not even that. For one, it's on BattleNet because it's Activision. So Activision's just using BattleNet for PC. So I'm good with that. But what I had heard, and I have no idea if this is true or not, but they didn't have a campaign because it wasn't going to come together in time. So my wondering is if Blackout is quiet for now because they're still putting it together.
It's possible. It's possible. I wouldn't put anything past them.
Yeah. So, I mean, they've got till October. So, I mean, they're dropping teasers. They might get little blips. They might have a tiny section that works or something like that. But I don't think it's going to be Battle Royale for Destiny.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, it would be weird. I don't think it really fits in that space. I mean, I'm curious, though, because Activision, they want that money. So I'm curious to see what this mode is. But, I mean, we know the people that went to the community summit, they can't talk about it. But, again, they've said it's not something we've never seen in Destiny, and it's amazing. I've got confirmation from multiple sources that I trust.
Yeah, most people were just like, I don't want to stop playing. And I was like, well, what is it?
What is it? I know. Like, it's driving me nuts to try to figure out what this could possibly be. We got E3 coming, so hopefully maybe we get a little sneak peek. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
I think that'd be a good time to drop it to build hype because it sounds like it was playable. So it sounds like it's at a point they could show it.
Absolutely.
So I'm hoping they do give some type of teaser, maybe gameplay on the floor. That would be the way you build up September. Is you've got to have some new hook, because if it's just possible story that people like, it's Destiny story, woo. It's like the weapon randomization, the slot changes, bringing it back, that steps, but it's like they need a big reason to pull people back, and
absolutely
E3 is the big table to do it on. So
completely agree.
No idea what it is. Just can't wait to find out.
Can't wait. What else we got?
So that's pretty much it for the roadmap. So a few changes. We know armor's coming sooner. We've got the May update. July's got, triumphs, and we'll see what bounties are going to do. And just all that stuff is leading to September. Yes, overall, generally, I mean, my thoughts of Warmind so far, we said it last time. I gave it about a C+ because things are not perfect. I mean, the grind was not balanced right. And we'll cover some of that here in a little bit. But as Destin said it, most people have in some way or another, the ship is turning in a good direction.
Yes,
and we're headed towards progress. Lots of communication. It's good stuff across the board. So we'll go ahead and jump into the TWAB this week at Bungie.
TWAB
time. So basically they said they've covered some of the basics of what people have done so far. One person already got Legend.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I thought, what was his name? 1 second kill, I think, something like that. Yeah, so he was the first. He's at least probably the first public person with the Redrix's Claymore, and he's the first one in the Legend status. Now, granted, he probably had a good team to run with. He's been working his butt off, but also heard he had a 97 win streak. That is insane.
That's insane.
Like, so I think the win streak's what, like a 3 or a 5 bonus, and then he just
see, I know about the lose streaks. Those one I know about.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do too. Like, oh, you got a little points, well, they're gone.
There you go. Yeah.
So we'll get to a glory discussion here a little bit farther down. I know you got some stuff to say about that. But it's cool to see, like, someone grinded their, like, people wanted to do world first in raid, and that's what they said. Some people want to do raid. He fought his tail off for world first Legend, and he just, that's a grind right there.
Yeah, that's a grind. That's no joke.
I don't want to play against him. Can I please not get matched with him? But that's different. So
facts.
But yeah, they threw the roadmap up there again so you can see it. So our first piece of the TWAB is powerful progress, and this is kind of what we were teasing out before, but I just wanted to save it for this part. So they basically said Warmind is out. We know progress is one of those things that people have issues with. We hit walls at certain points. Basically, if you know and you've played this at all, about 345, you hit a brick wall, like square on, just faceplant, and it's rough. Now, you've got your powerful engrams that will get you slowly above that.
Right.
Now, those who did regular raid, prestige raid, raid lair, and trials, like, yeah, they got a boost. But as Dado did his video, he's like, okay, so you have how many milestones? Like 6, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
And then he's like, okay, so then if you do all the raids and trials and those other encounters, you have 21 options versus 6.
Yeah.
So, and that's from 340 up. Now, one of the main issues, and this is going to be my little explosion, you can save yours for later.
Go for it.
And Dado had the same thing to say. He just beat it to it because we were doing it today. But it was like, as soon as we loaded in and you saw heroic strikes were 350, you're like, cool, they're hard. You finish 1, which, by the way, if you're doing grounded, solar burn, I was doing the one with the worm. Dude, I was getting roasted. Finally finished that thing after about like 6 deaths. And I get a 340 drop and I want to punch my monitor.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So,
bro, they're harder than the Nightfall. These heroic strikes are harder than the Nightfall.
Yeah, well, because the normal Nightfall's at 270.
Exactly.
Which is like, no, it's like, and that's an issue. Like, I don't know how they balance out, because from what I've heard and people have said it a couple places, they have certain pieces either at Nightfall's at 270 or the raids are low because you can't satisfy basically the trophies and the achievements.
Yes,
and that allows them doesn't allow them to get certifications. So they're trying to find their ways to do that. I'm like, okay, so have a normal Nightfall, have a higher Nightfall, have your prestige Nightfall, have your like base Nightfall that you could even do matchmaking on, and maybe your engram on that one, maybe that is 340 because it's your matchmaking and you want 340, or maybe it's like, you know, somewhat below you or somewhere similar. Then you have like a, you know, medium Nightfall, a Guardian Nightfall or whatever. And that's your middle ground. That's your one that sticks with your expansions and keeps increasing. And then you have your prestige where it absolutely royally kicks your butt. You can crank it up, modifiers, all that stuff. Like, just add another one in there. And that's the same thing he was saying. It's just like, there has to be a way to not have a Nightfall be 270, which they still skew your power level to wherever it is.
Yeah.
But then you go into a heroic strike at 350 and I was 340 and holy crap, I got my butt whooped.
Yeah, it's no joke.
Like, there's a couple moments where you're like, oh, yeah. I got absolutely lit up. But then you work your tail off for something and the loot doesn't even matter. No,
that's egregious. And yeah, shout out to me having to do 3 of them. Not to cut you, I'm sorry.
No, go for it.
No, I was gonna say, just shout out to me having to do 3 of those as part. Oh, actually not 3, 5 as part of the Sleeper Simulant quest. That's part of the quest. I had to do 5 of them, and we know what was worse. One of the 5 I had to do over because of the heroic strike glitch. Thankfully, that is fixed.
Yeah, but that is better.
Yeah, but it's just like, dude, those would know. I was like, wow, dude, these are brutal. Certain modifiers are ridiculous. And to just open that chest at the end and to not, I'm going to give them the benefit. Surprisingly, though, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt on this only because.
How are you giving them the benefit of the doubt on this?
Only because I cannot, with any right mind, think that anybody with any common sense could have planned that. One would hope that this was an oversight. That they were so happy to put modifiers in, they forgot to bump.
I mean, that's giving them the benefit of the doubt, but so much of this is curated. You know that wasn't an accident. Right. Yes, I mean, the soft cap, they were like, yeah, 340, and then you're going to do the end game grind. Well, then your heroic strikes are 340 then.
Yeah.
If you make them 3, like either one way or the other, heroic strikes go down to what you get the gear for, but then you give no reason to do them, which I think sucks. Right. Or you bring them up and you have what they're going to do, which is not quite right. I still have some tweaks on this. So they want to make the progress better. We know escalation protocol kicks your butt. Now, if you're in that 350, 360 realm, you're not quite getting whooped, but you can survive.
You can survive.
But the damage is not there yet to be able to start getting those guys. So, I mean, I've got to level 2, but that wizard does not die.
That wizard, she moves that wizard.
That wizard, like, I've seen it go down maybe a quarter or maybe about a third. Like I've taken down the ogre a couple times with a decent sized group.
Yeah, me too.
And they're probably about my level. But that wizard, he's just like, nuh-uh. Nope, not touch. Just too much health versus our damage. So. Now, escalation protocol, they say the key fragments will be a 100% drop from every heroic strike. So they're giving you incentive. I don't know what those do.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you. I don't recall what these are. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I was like, I feel like I've got to look at my inventory. You go.
Yeah, not like because I'm sitting there and I'm like,
I know what they do. Is
that to initiate it?
No, those are the ones that open the chest for the armor at level 7.
Oh, stuff I would not know about.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, not there yet.
Got you.
But basically what they do,
level 2 of escalation protocol.
Yeah, I'm not even at 7 and people are finishing it out, but that's fine. But what they do, I think it's 7 key fragments. You put them together, and that way when you get to level 7, you actually can open the chest for the armor.
Oh, so it's a special chest. They almost doing like a Rat to the Machine style, where you got like the fragments, and then you put them together. Oh, okay.
Yep. So. Now you can get those fragments from like different levels or something like that, but to open the chest, like you got to have that. So don't go random, happen across a level 7, kill yourself for it and not have a key because you're not going to open the chest.
All right, so that's cool. So then they're pretty much giving you a component for an end game escalation thing based on as a heroic strike drop. 100%. That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's something. It's a good thing to grind for. So there'll be more people in there too, which will be good. Hopefully, some more high level people working on the tough stuff. Now, the other side, I have a tweak already. Just by reading it, I'm kind of like, I don't quite agree. So currently, the drops are like 340.
Right.
Just straight up. That's your legendaries. Your blues are like 335. They are not the blue. Okay, the blues are like 340. They're stuck. Heroic strikes will be able to drop better rewards. Every 3 to 5 heroic strikes will drop a legendary that can carry you up to 360.
Okay.
Now,
talk to me.
The fact that it's 3 to 5, how long did it take you to do 3 strikes?
Bro.
Especially if you're dying on a boss fight.
Yeah, you're right. There should be, why is it not more consistent? I think you know what they're doing. They're doing it 3 to 5 to try to throttle you.
Oh yeah, I can understand.
They know what people are going to do is people are going to stay in the strikes and not do the raid or not do the thing, and they're trying to still throttle. They want a level of investment. That's what they want.
Incentive to keep playing strikes for a little while longer, maybe. Maybe if you do 2 strikes in a row, it's every 2 to 4. And maybe if you do 3 strikes in a row and you stay in there for a while, it's every 1 to 3. So the longer you play, maybe it throttles down a little bit more. Now, it's only up to 360, but that way, if you grind strikes for a while and you got up to 340, you did your milestones. Okay, I'm going to go grind this. I want to get maybe at least 10 levels. And,
I agree.
You're not going to get every piece, even if you get something up to 360 and it's like, say I'm 350 and I get something 352. It's still going to take a while in there. So if they can stagger that a little more, maybe give you incentives to stay in there. If you got a crappy group, bail. Like, hey, I'm not going to hang with them. But you find a good group, hang with them, keep burning out strikes, and whittle away slowly at that level, at least to creep a little closer.
And that's exactly what they had in D1, because you remember there used to be that
the Vanguard boost.
Yeah, Vanguard boost that you'd get, and you'd be able to get higher rewards with that. And wouldn't that like also increase back then like skeleton key chances and stuff to that effect? Yeah.
All that stuff was in there. So that would be I may be close to 360 on a character by the end of the week. I'm probably not going to be quite there, so I probably wouldn't grind that much. So some people are like, hey, by the time this comes out on the 29th, this is going to be too late. I'm already going to be 360. Are you 380 on every one of your characters? If you are, you have played a buttload more than most people.
Way too much.
So for most of us who are like, hey, I'm working on one character, maybe bouncing to the other for some quick milestones, but not grinding as much.
Right.
This is going to help your grind of other characters. This is going to be for like my brother who gets to play like once or twice a week between his kids and everything else. So this is not for everybody. Gathalion straight up said it. This is not for everybody. If you're already up there, it's not for you. This is to help the progression. I mean, this is even like Dado's rant to say difficulty of the things should match the drops. Like everything is based on your power level. And then you have those soft caps in there. And they don't stagger the progression that way. And it's kind of rough. Like that strikes are like they feel tacked on because there's never typically incentive to do them. This is at least somewhat of an incentive. So are the key fragments. But it's like, say you go through the story, you're 340. Say you do regular strikes with some random people in matchmaking, maybe that gets you up to 350. But it's but it's a slog from 345 to 350 or so. Say you want to jump up to 350, okay. So from 345 to 355, heroic strikes are going to help you a little bit, give you some quicker drops. Those last 5 levels might slow you down. Powerful engrams are still going to help. And then as you go through, you can throw some in-game in there. And that's a way you give different people different things to do, but you're not feeling like you're constantly doing stuff and not making progress.
No, absolutely.
Or on the other end, you don't do all your milestones and then you turn the game off for the week. I mean, those are completely true. Like, you need some balance between those. And I know they have a tough line to walk, but you need some continual progression where activities, harder activities progress through. Like, I mean, regular strikes, heroic strikes, nightfall strikes. That's a logical progression. It should be that way with your gear too.
No, I agree. Listen, I know where you're at, and I'm not saying you're wrong. You're absolutely right. This is an oversight. This is that, between that soft cap, hard cap, and this comes down to rewarding hard content. I'm with that. I guess I'm more excuse me. I guess I'm more confident that this is going to get resolved quickly, because I feel that they get it though. They get what they did right with Warmind is they understood content needed to be hard. There had to be a grind again. And I love that about Warmind, actually. I love that escalation protocols. I love that the raid is hard. Where they messed up now is like, okay, you got it that it's hard, but you're not rewarding said difficulty enough. And you're not rewarding the heroic strikes. You're not rewarding the raid. I heard the Spire the Stars raid is that these are hardcore raiders saying, yo, this thing is hard. I didn't finish it. Or
it was like 30 people finished over the weekend, as opposed to what was the raid layer, the apartment duty 2D was done in like 2 hours, maybe. It was done and like everybody had it done. Like, it took 12 hours and there was like 30 teams that finished it over the weekend. Like, that's brutal, but that's what I wanted to hear. That was amazing.
I love to hear that. All I want to hear now in conjunction with it is, oh my God, I got this insane weapon. Or, oh my God, like almost, you know what I mean? Like to see I believe it was like a fusion in the sidearm. I'm like, come on, you cannot do that.
No, you cannot have your hardest 6-person absolute beating. Like, shout out to Vicarious Visions for making everybody check themselves occasionally, be like, am I still working? Like, holy crap. Like, shout out to them. But yeah, if you give us crap rewards, like Vicarious may have built the encounter and then Bungie unfortunately was in charge of the rewards, like, and you can't do that. Like, you cannot be afraid. Like, they gave for the raid perks and the regular raid. And that was on the armor, those little mods.
Yes.
Like, you've got to make those guns stand out. You've got to make them PvE monsters.
Right.
Like,
you got to make those mods double up. You got to have that mod and still be able to put another mod. Like, so you got to do something.
Give us some like awesome perk choices. Let me pick between Rampage. Say you finish that hand cannon. Say you get like Desperado on the hand cannon from the raid. You want to tell people be grinded for something? That new Redrix's Claymore perk, and you got to finish the Prestige pain in the butt raid layer. Oh yeah. I mean, little stuff, but it's like, I want them to go even farther. Like 2 extra perk slots, 2 extra mod slots. Like, if you finish a raid, it's got to be worth it.
Exactly.
I mean, they had some stuff before, but even the raid guns, but like Taken King had a couple good guns, but then some that were trash. Like Sniper was decent, Pulse Rifle was decent, Shotgun I think was good. Those were machine guns.
That's about it.
But it had like the worst hand cannon, the worst auto rifle I've probably ever seen in Destiny. I was like, how is that a raid? How does a raid gun get set up that way? Like, if you have hand cannons in the game, it should be one of the top, without a doubt. So
I agree.
So their work, I mean, again,
my thing is, at least they've acknowledged in the TWAB.
I will agree with that.
The problem. See, that is something that I'm looking at positively. I'm like, before we would make these, flashpoints and we complain, like, what were they thinking? Right?
Yeah. They know what we're thinking.
We know what they're thinking. It's almost a mea culpa. We apologize. We realize that this is not enough reward and incentive. We are on it. That's what I need to hear.
Yeah. And that I was like, And don't get me wrong, I
Mhm.
appreciate that huge, because this is the fastest addressing of like it's been
Yes.
like 8 days, and they're
Days,
saying,
bro.
hey, this progression isn't right, and we're working
Mhm.
on it in a week and a half. Like that's the
Mhm.
fastest I've ever seen them turn around something with like progression and reward
Mhm.
dropping and power level. Like that is a fast turnaround. That is crazy good. So I
Yes.
really, really do appreciate that. So again, if you can hold off for 8 days,
Mhm.
go try Detroit or State of Decay. Good luck on State of Decay. I have no idea. I have no idea how that's going to go. I've seen questionable things, but
Mhm.
hold your breath, like take a week, and then this will be in effect. So it's like
Mhm.
that's as fast as they can possibly get it out. Now, some people are like, well, you can hot fix a gun, but you can do this. It takes
Mhm.
a while for things to get patched, guys. Some things are server side, some are client side. Client
Yes.
side stuff is harder to get out because they have to do PC, Xbox, PlayStation certification, and all of it has
Mhm.
to go. And if you think that's an easy process, I'm not a game developer. I can only imagine that is a royal pain in the butt.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was like, the fact that they can even try and do this quick, hey, thanks, I'll take it. They're getting better.
No
So
doubt. What else we
now they
got?
have a couple other issues they're talking about.
Mhm.
They don't have immediate solutions.
Mhm.
What am I hearing? Oh, weird noise. Sorry.
All right, sir.
Um, no, you're good. So they're trying to say that they're trying to smooth out the transition into in-game grind, because they said everybody hits that brick wall at 345,
Right.
goes from fast to super frictioned.
Mhm.
They said once milestones are completed, the rewards aren't to chase. Exotic Masterworks, like these are some good things. Exotic Masterworks, my Darcy grind is going to take a while.
Yeah.
I've been messing around with stuff. I haven't
Mhm.
just solely working on it. I'm at like
Mhm.
34%, but it's something I can work. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I
Mhm.
can hang out patrol. I can go snipe some people. I'll work on that. That's awesome stuff to do. Those are
Mhm.
good things. And when those things change over, like Masterwork, I want the Vigilance Wing. Just start
Yeah.
melting people, dude.
Yeah. That full
And that's
auto,
just
man.
and that's a random drop in Crucible.
Mhm.
But those are cool. And they said as highlighted, weapon randomization and records should give
Mhm.
people more to do. Um,
Mhm.
we'll see what that is. In-game progression, they said it right here. It needs
Needs
more
more
tiers.
tiers. Yeah.
Right now, everything gives similar sized upgrades without discrete tiers and progression. And that's
Mhm.
what they need to do. It's like that is something I definitely wouldn't expect a solution for prior to September, but it's on their radar. So again, September, they're turning the ship. They're being aware. It's like people are
Mhm.
tired of like, hey, I'm tired of hitting a wall.
Yeah. Absolutely. That
Like,
cat, man.
give me a ladder to climb. Even if some of the steps are bigger and they're a little harder to get over, but you can slowly finish it up. Like maybe
Mhm.
345 to 350, that's a harder grind. Like those little pieces are harder, but you can at least know if I'm going through runner strike, okay, cool. I got that next thing. It's a little bit higher. It's like, I mean,
Mhm.
they're trying to we wanted it all spoon fed to us. We got it thrown at us, and then we had no reason to play.
Yeah.
They're taking it the other way, which is good. And then
Mhm.
they're just trying to walk that balance and find it without doing it too far. So
Mhm.
I appreciate they're not just instantly rolling it back, which is good. And they're
Yeah.
just trying to walk it out. So
Like I
honestly,
said,
I'm just go ahead. Yeah,
no,
sorry.
just an acknowledgement is where I'm at right now, and the fast turnaround and the fast response is positive signs to me. So, I'm in a good place. I'm not in my normal rant mode right now with them on this, because I'm like, okay, I didn't even have to say nothing. You already said,
Yep.
like I was ready to lash them, and then they're like, wait, hold on, we understand this is what we're doing, this is why we thinking. I'm good with that. Let's get the implementation going and let's go.
Yeah, my rant may have been a little early because I forgot this was during the week. But I still wanted to say it because
I'm
as
glad
someone
you
to go through, like if you were sitting there as a game tester, I'd be like, yeah, that still needs fixed.
did. Facts.
So now here's where your section's coming up.
Woo! Let's go.
Going for glory.
Going
So
for it.
progression isn't just achieving new levels of power, also looking how people are progressing through the ranks of valor and glory. So they're
Mhm.
looking at a couple questions about the competitive playlist in general. So do you want me to ask these questions
Yeah. Let's get right
and then
into
kind
it.
of get to yours?
Yeah. Let's go.
So people have had questions about glory and matchmaking and all that stuff going on. So why would I match against a player with a higher glory rank than me?
Mhm.
And they said there's a couple of reasons. Actually, here I'll ask the question, you answer. Make it a little better because I
Yeah,
feel
let's
like
go.
I've talked a lot.
It's all
So
good. It's all good. So yeah, so they say for a variety of reasons, they don't want to match you directly on your glory number. They're using it per playlist skill value. It's quite likely the opponent is a good match against you, but they've been grinding glory more consistently, so they move the rank faster. Take this as a sign that you'll likely reach that rank with continued play. Yeah, I have a feeling about that. Should I get into that now? Or should we do this?
no, just one question at a time. Go nuts. Yeah, that's what
Okay.
we're here for.
Yeah, like I'm not exactly sold on this. I played glory a lot now. I played as a team. And actually, it's going to go into the next question. So let me not get into that part just yet. But I will say I'm still not really sure about that system because I've seen me go up against the same teams consistently. And I'm still not sure that whatever this algorithm that they're using, and apparently they just patched again, they re-implement it.
Yep.
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I'm still thinking there needs to be some tweaking right there. But we'll continue with the next one. I'll get into my deeper thoughts on it.
So why can I match against preformed fire teams when I'm searching as a solo player?
Yeah. All right. So their answer is after a bit of server-side tuning investigation, they re-enabled the Crucible Fire Team matchmaking. That's what I was talking about earlier. This does not directly reduce the chances of matching against pre-made fire teams. Yeah, I know about that. But does tweak the skill values of those fire teams to make it more likely that they find evenly matched opponents. I still don't think this is working as intended. Because like I said, I started off as a team. We were kind of pub stomping. We were kind of doing well. We matched until we matched up against some other good teams. I didn't have a problem with us losing those matches. What I did have a problem was playing as solo. And there was a time like I got pub stomped. A guy dropped. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I got pub stomped fair and square. Okay, whatever. Then I looked at it and I'm like, wait a minute. These gamer tags look familiar again. It is like I literally got on a 3 lose streak. It was the same guys. And they were it was like 2 out of the 4 of them was in a clan together. They were still matched together. And I'm like, this algorithm is still not where it need to be. And dude, in Glory, them losses hurt, man. When you go on a loss streak and you just see at the end of the match that circle whittle down and you're taking rank away.
I was gonna say, so do you think loss streaks should be a thing?
I'm torn. Part of me says yes.
Really?
I'm torn. I am. It's a tough one. Maybe not because here's the thing. You want this activity to be difficult, right? Yep. I know the argument against it. Like, yo, that's just not right. It's demoralizing. It's it shouldn't be factored into this kind of thing. Most games don't do it. If they get rid of it, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't be like, oh, it needs to bring loss streaks back. No, I'm not that. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that I don't mind it only for the simple fact that, it penalizes if you go on a bad run. And I don't mind that. My thing is, I just don't like going on a bad run when this thing's out of my control. Like, I shouldn't be like, dude, what I'm noticing is, let's say, I'm doing, Glory survival, right? First team to 4 wins, and all teams have a pool of lives, right?
Yep.
I'm noticing as soon as it's 2-0, dudes are dropping the match. And I'm like, wow, it says such and such departed. This person departed. Like,
and you're just like, I have no chance. Yeah.
Right. Now, at that point, you got to do something for the people who stayed in it. I'm not saying, like, either like cut the streak, something. It's just not fair to be dudes are dropping. And I'm curious for the guys that are dropping if they're getting penalized at all. Because if they're not, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get into the next question.
No, you're good.
I'm ready for this one.
Some more to talk about. Why wouldn't you make a solo queue only playlist?
Yeah. All right. So their answer, right. We don't want to do that because it would split the population in an unhealthy way, making it less likely for everyone to find good matches. Furthermore, that would probably mean splitting the glory rank into solo glory and team glory. And we'd rather be one single number to represent your prowess in the Crucible. Shout out to BK Best in the chat. He made a good point. He said, could it be the algorithm is forced because to play the same people because they have the lack of players? It's possible. It's very much possible. And I think that's all this is. I mean, let's keep it real with the Destiny base right now, right? It's not, the game is slowly trying to recover. The majority of the high count that it started off with is not there. So yeah, player count could definitely play a factor here. And I think that's why they're terrified in doing it, because the numbers probably would indicate that they don't have that population to do it. It just sucks. Like, it just sucks as a solo player to be matched up against these like super sweaty, crazy try hard Redrix crew. I fought dudes with Redrix. I'm like, come on, man.
Like, how am I supposed to win that? Yeah,
like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like,
That's the Crucible beast. Like, what are you gonna do? And then some people are saying it's like, you know, if you're soloing, it's like it's not gonna be the fastest gun. Still, some other stuff is gonna be better. But it's like if they get that perk active, you're done. You're not gonna win.
You're not win. And then there's the other thing is like, okay, you know, once that heavy spawn and dudes control a heavy, and you know they jump out to a big lead. The problem I have is dudes on the losing teams are not completing the match.
Nope.
That's the problem.
And that should be one of those, like, if you leave, I don't know what the penalty is. Yeah. Is it even still there?
I haven't seen any penalty. That's the thing. Like, I'm low key. It's just like because my honor, I'm such a prideful person. Like, I'm low key want to test out cheating and just jumping out the match as soon as I know it's a foregone conclusion that the team gonna lose and
what's gonna happen.
What happens? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's happening way too frequent for me to think that these dudes ain't getting penalized. No, like literally one match it was like it was literally the entire 5-team versus me. Everybody on my squad bounced as soon as they was getting stomped.
I mean, that's the point where hopefully you start dancing, and if they're not absolute turds, they might dance with you and wait it out. But honestly, for you as you finish, if you stay in that match, for one, you have to wait on time, which kind of sucks for the other team. And then two, if you do finish, there's no way you're going to win. So honestly, if someone leaves a competitive match, that match should not count against you. Because likely you're not to win.
That's what I'm saying. There should be some type of buff that either stops the losing streak.
Yep.
You know, something. You have to reward the guy who stuck it out and took his loss like a man.
Right.
You gotta reward that guy. You cannot penalize him as if he's the worst. Like, and these dudes are running out and trying to get into another session. Like, nah. So they gotta fix that. That's a big deal for me. I actually tweeted out to Barrett and I believe who else put it out? I think it was Cactus was putting it out like, hey, welcome to Glory Crucible. You know, finishing matches by himself or whatever, getting stopped.
Yeah, seriously, like, and that's the problem. And they said, we'll get to the other question here real quick. Just add it in so we can talk about it. Yeah. Why would you place me in a game in progress that you know I'm going to lose, ending my streak? And they said there's no join in progress in competitive.
Yeah, but there's join out.
Well, there's bail out.
There's bail out.
Yeah, well, they said there is one. They're working on a fix for Valor in the other playlist, so won't lose your Valor that way. I'm like, so similar situation. If you're in competitive, and somebody leaves, you're literally at a disadvantage. So therefore, it's not equal. Just be like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and call this a draw. Like if the other person left, just call it a draw, or let the other team have their points. It's not the end, and maybe give them less. Maybe give them less depending on how far you are into it. But you finish it out if somebody leaves. And again, somebody's connection could have dropped. Somebody's kid might have thrown up. You never know what it is. But let that be a way to be like, all right, this match is done if somebody leaves. Now, unfortunately,
dude, like, here's the thing, though. I'm having situations where 2 and 3 people are dropping.
Right. And I know,
so,
and
like, there should be an algorithm at that point. Not everybody lost their connection at the same time.
No, and that's a point for you. Like, if you're like everybody leaves and you play for like another minute and be like, okay, yeah, this dude's neutral. He's not moving. The other guy's on the other side. And if it was like, if it's 4-40, yeah, they stomped you. Give them a win. You get a nothing, no loss, no win, no streak effect. Just, nullify that loss for the losing team.
Yes.
And then just move on to the next one.
And just move on to the next.
Yep. And then have something in there. Don't match them up against the same people.
Like they got to have an algorithm, kind of like how they had the algorithm when you had the repeat strike.
Yeah. You gotta have a repeat people.
Those dudes you just fought, you for the next match can't see. Like I don't mind if it's 2 matches, but the next match you should not be matched up with the exact same dude, sweaty, waiting to eat. Like
if you got like a mercy in that day or something, like if you got mercied by that crew and they're still running
from them dudes,
just you're not gonna, because that's not fun for anybody. Nobody wants to get stomped. Now I will say on the other side. Again, one of these like suck it up buttercup moments, because have you ever been in a match you start behind on a play match, you jump in, but you fight back?
Yes.
That is some of the best feelings too. Be like, oh, we almost, and that's the point. I may not win those, but I'm not in it. I'm not in it for the win, because Valor is not going to hurt anything. But that fight back, that struggle, let's see if we can play with my team. All right, I'm really going to focus with my team here. Okay, let's like stay together and see what you can do. That's how you get better.
That's how you get better.
You gotta
Shout out
fight
to
for those tough moments.
Yeah, shout out to Phil Thrill in the chat. He's like, there are a number of times I finish my Crucible matches when I'm getting beat down. It hurts when I got that streak going. But yeah, shout out to you for finishing. Like these dudes ain't
Right.
finishing, and I don't see no penalties. I'm not hearing about no penalties. So yeah, like, and I agree. Like there's those moments when you do come back and you feel good. Like they got to get better with that. They got to reward. They got to figure something out. Because let me tell you right now, it's real salt in that glory, man. That glory.
I haven't
It's
even
salt,
really
that
dabbled.
glory,
I haven't
man.
dabbled. I jumped into one of those on PC and I was like, I gotta find some people because solo
Yeah.
and PC is just gonna be a
And it
beating.
was
I think.
night and day. Shout out to my boy Sinister, Super Gangster. We had a squad, my boy Neil Fargo. We 4 deep. It's a difference, man. It's a difference. Like we won 70% of the matches. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it was max matching. I can't talk. Us against people of similar skill.
Yeah,
We
but
was
they're
handling our
solos.
business, and then it started to progressively get harder and harder. And then there was one of the maps we just ain't really know that it was a new map. And I'm like, damn, I don't really know this map. And it was kind of like one of these maps where the heavy was really centralized, and
Yeah.
people were just running for the heavy. You know what I'm saying, kind of thing. So we like, damn, we got to control that heavy room next time we do this map because we didn't know it. But I took that loss well. I'm like, okay, we learned. The minute I got to like almost the next rank of glory. So I'm like, all right, cool. My boys ain't on. I'll play a little solo. Let me see. If I did not lose damn near all the glory I gained for the weekend,
That hurts.
went on a loss streak and it just kept evaporating. And I'm like, no.
See that right there is why I don't think the loss streak should be in there right now. If you lose, that's one thing, and maybe you even temper the losses a little bit. But until they have that matchmaking right, until they have some of these things figured out, until solo queue matches, like I don't know how their matchmaking works. Like my assumption, and this is just random BS numbers. Say you have a random skill level of 1,000. All 4 of us do. So if I'm a solo person and I'm going to match make, we add up as 4 people who equal about 1,000 for skill level.
Right.
Okay. Other team, 4 people who are 1,000, but they're matched up, so they're communicating their team. What do you do to their skill level? Do you make it 1.5, so you make them 6,000, and that's their skill because they're a team?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
So then 4 solos at like a 1,500 versus 1,000 versus that team of 1,000 working together might be that even playing field. But if you have 4 people, or if you have 4 people at 1,500 as a team, they're bumped all the way up to like 9,000. See, that's where it's like, I don't know how they're doing the math, but I was like, you need a substantial jump when you have a team because of how this game affects that. It needs to be like a 2x, something major.
I agree.
Because even if you're
the solo guy's at a disadvantage, man. It's just
a huge. Because team shotting is so massive. You can't have it this little be like, oh, maybe like 1.01. No, it's not going to be like their 1% change in auto rifle damage. You can't have that. It needs to literally be like twice as much or something.
I think that's so big of a difference. I actually like that change you're talking. I actually like that. I think that's a good idea.
I mean, I don't know how the numbers are calculated and what they do, but whatever they account for the team player, it needs to be a big buff.
Yes.
So like if you're running in, what is the middle, like Fabled, and you're running as a team, you ought to be playing people above you, like in that next rank. If they're running solo, so they're playing. So I mean, that's the differences. Like whether it's the glory number or whether it's your skill number, you need to be making a substantial jump if you're a team or if you're solo. It's harder, but you're playing teams of lower skills, so you might win some more one-on-ones, but you got to do a solo fight. So like, that's where I think some of that.
I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's a fair trade, especially because the solo guys can't communicate as well. So yeah, I think that's a fair trade. I like that. I would love them to implement something like that.
Yeah. And you cannot assume anybody jumps in the fire team chat. That stuff just goes in there.
People
so it's like if you're solos, like you got to skew it, and you just got to know. So
facts.
Yeah.
What we got? I'm done ranting.
Yep. Nope. Me too.
Glory Crucible yard. Sweaty. It's fierce. It's salty.
Yep, it's rough. So Ironclad, Iron Banner is returning.
Ooh, the banner.
We got Saladin looking fancy as always. So next week, Tuesday to Tuesday, it will be Control. Control 6v6 is back. Honestly, I had a lot of fun last time this was here.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy to see it back. Also, we have ornaments, which they look very similar to the ones from last time. Now, the faction awards are cool. So this is going to work the same way Zavala does. I don't know if the ship is going to be like level 50. If so, that's going to be one hell of a grind. But because Zavala is like a crazy grind. But probably similar thing. Maybe at level 5, you might get, you know, a class item or something. Then you might get the sidearm, and then at 10, and then at 15. And then as you work through, you can get these. Now, you might get some lucky drops, and I might get a ship or an emblem or something from one of my faction rewards, or maybe those are in the top level. So your faction rewards, you'll be getting your packages anyway. But if you don't, and you want to grind for it, and you're just unlucky or whatever, then maybe you'll do this stuff. So I just like the fact that, like, I'm okay with that type of grind. If you know you want to do it, and maybe like up here in the faction rewards, it's not all the same stuff, or maybe these look a little fancier. It would honestly be really cool if some of these had different perks than your random drops. So just for a little more variety, but just the fact that it's going to be rewards, his seasonal reputation of 35. If you hit 35 in like 1 week, you are insane. Not much
blazing hard.
Yeah, this will be all of season 3, so you're gonna have some time to grind for it.
No doubt.
So yeah, I'll be working on climbing the ranks just like any other faction. We got our pictures here. Cool looking sniper. I'm digging this one. I actually really like the graphic on the rocket launcher because
I like the rocket launcher. Look, I need some cluster bombs on that, man. I hope they got some good perks for that.
Yeah, seriously. It looks like submachine gun, hand cannon, sidearm, and a Vice Scout, maybe? Or auto.
Auto, maybe? Yeah, look kind of auto.
One of the two. So, but yeah. Then we got the ornaments, or we got the armor.
Yes.
So, the Titan.
Armor.
We've got Shredder.
Shredder for the Ninja Tail. Yo, you still
exactly right there. So you got Shredder.
Shredder. Yo, he doing. I didn't even put that thought in my head now.
That's all you're gonna see, so you're welcome for that. Titan got the
mean.
Warlock looks mean. I like the angles. I like the. I don't know why it looks like all the fabric on these has more weight to it.
Yeah, I like the way they did the font of the fabric.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's just the green parts. You got green and chrome. You shiny. So if you want to get shiny, this Iron Banner is for you. So should be interesting. I'm not gonna go into all this stuff. Basically, just if you want to read about it, they've got some companion apps getting updated in different times, user experience, accessibility, all that stuff's in there. They got some hot fixes. One thing for you guys all to know, a couple pieces. For the Heroic Strike Progress, if you activate your boon, it will not let it count towards your progress. So hold on to your Vanguard boons until they fix it. Just save them. They're not that big of a deal anyway. Just don't pop them. But the biggest one is your clan EXP milestone for your powerful gear. We've only got 6 options for it. I turned mine in last week and didn't think about it. That mistake. I don't know if I haven't done it that much this week. I haven't played as much. So if you do your clan EXP milestone, save it. When the reset happens at whatever 12 o'clock Central Time for me, when that happens, it's going to auto decrypt it at the proper level. So just don't turn it in. Let it go through the weekly reset and then go pick it up. That's the best way to handle it. But just don't go turn it in during the week. You're going to get 340, and well, that's just taking one of those ways to progress away from you. So pretty sure I did that on my Warlock already. So oops. But yeah, weekly videos, you guys know those. And they have their little community PvP Bungie versus. So
Dylan was in there.
Yeah, Dylan versus Pope Bear. He beat him 1-on-1, 2-1, but Destiny Community Podcast actually beat Bungie 3-2. So nice little split. I didn't get to watch it, but I might go try and hunt down that stream later just to see if there's any little tidbits of knowledge. But overall, pretty cool stuff. Shout out to World's First. Those guys are beasts. I mean, they were at it for a long time, though. I didn't see anybody finish it for like 8-12 hours. Whoever was first, it took a long time to get through it. So we have one more little tidbit just to talk about real quick. So we got Arms Week. Now, this is something that, like, it's not so public per se. Basically, people searched Arms Week and this stuff popped up. I don't know how it happened. Maybe somebody searched Arms and this stuff just showed. So what we've got is basically first you've got the Train with Limitations. Let me see if I can get my tabs right. So it's hard to see. Let me try and highlight it.
There you go.
So, Train with Limitations and a real fight will set you free. Lord Shax. So, I don't know why Shax is saying this.
Yeah, why Shax is saying this. That's weird. It should be Banshee.
Your arsenal, either Banshee or Zavala or somebody, but not Shax. Your arsenal is restricted for greater challenge. Use the prescribed loadout, but let no other constraints stop your rampage. So, maybe, and this is kind of what we'll get. So, he's the one saying this first, and this will probably clear up a little bit more. So, we have a couple of these Arms Week, Nightfall, the Prospector. So it sounds like, now I don't know if this is hidden in code, if it's not active yet. Maybe this is part of the summer event. Banshee's going to have something to do, hopefully, it looks like.
Yeah, they're giving them more functionality.
So, shut down the operations of an ironmonger providing weapons to the Red Legion. Arms dealer strike, obviously. And your modifiers are Gold Rush. So this modifier, if you do it with whatever random load that they're going to give you, kind of the way Esoteric does it already, he does some viewer ones. They could pick some nasty ones. I mean, if you had to go to like a sidearm, a submachine gun, and a sword, go fight.
Yeah, get in there.
Have fun doing a Nightfall that way. And it's just like, okay, you're going to be waiting on your ammo for a while.
For a minute.
But Gold Rush, complete this Nightfall to upgrade the Prospector's Masterwork.
Incentive for Catalyst.
Maybe you find the Masterwork Catalyst, but it's going to take you doing this to finish it off.
Yeah. And
so
I
maybe
like continue. I'm sorry.
No, that was, and then some random code down here in the bottom. But
yeah, I mean, I like that. Forces you to utilize that weapon, master it in a high difficulty activity. You know, this sounds cool.
Yeah. Arms Week, hard light. So delve deep into the Hive Infested Arcologies in search, and it's complete this Nightfall to upgrade Hard Light's Masterwork. And then 7 is the Rat King. Same thing. So there's some Masterworks that we haven't been able to get to. I don't know when and if this is coming from. This is just something that is out there and exists. So
they planning something.
Arms Week strikes. Launches a random Destiny 2 or Curse of Osiris strike, requiring a specific weapon loadout. Now, this is where I think it's weird, and I don't know where or how accurate this is. It says Destiny 2 or Curse of Osiris. Curse of Osiris. Warmind is out. So I have a feeling this text, at least some of it, is old. So it's not
I think so.
Finished because it would say any Destiny 2 strike or Destiny 2 expansion 1 or expansion 2, or have Warmind listed somewhere in there if this was like ready to go soon. So
yeah, they probably had this in mind for a long time, and these are just placeholders, to be honest.
Yeah. So I don't know, but this was found recently. I don't know if somebody just popped into it by happenstance, or if it's been there for a while, or if it just showed up. But I mean, just the fact that, like, I mean, we know catalysts are a thing, so that's definitely something. So those are somewhat accurate. So if you're like, okay, Prospector, Catalyst, okay, so Masterwork. So it's like they have a plan. It's just when these are going to be implemented, we don't know. So just wanted to throw this out there for you guys. So if you have any thoughts on this one, again, comment, let us know. Shoot us a message on Twitter if you have any theories. Because I like the idea of specific loadouts because they haven't done that much. They teased it for the Prestige raids a while back, and they have said nothing since.
You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so they're like, okay, so the Prestige raid, and it's like curated raid. You would use this one, you'd have this modifier and snipers, and go. And then next week it'd be something different. So giving us specific ways, and it's like arms dealer. So he's the gunsmith. You want to work on certain guns. Now, if this is just like the only thing he's doing, I kind of hope there's more to it, because right now just mod man needs some help. But I miss the packages, man.
Yeah, I miss the packages. Yeah, I miss that.
But that, I mean, those don't exist without random rolls, so those aren't even going to be an option till the fall. So I don't know. What do you think? Digging it, liking it, thoughts?
I'm digging it. I think, listen, more activities to do. You know, content incentive to get masterwork incentives and things like that. I think that they're saving a lot of those masterwork for kind of activities like that. I think this might even be tied. My gut tells me that some of this stuff might even be tied to to bounties.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I think we may see some of that. I'm all about that question, man, and that's why, like, I know we're getting towards the end. It's like that's why, even though Warmind's not perfect, I'm really enjoying it, because there's something to be said. Like, I'm literally in the public space of Mars. I'm doing my little. They gave me a reason to do patrols now, so that I can you get 4 of them, and then you get that resonant stem. You get 4. You transform the 4 resonant stems into that override frequency. Have you started your sleeper quest at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and then it's like I'm going around the map, and then you're reading the clues, and you're like, okay, I got to go to descent here. There's a thing there. Like, I'm messing around with that, and then on route of doing that, oh wow, somebody jumped off an escalation. Let me jump in there. Okay, boom, a little, jumped off. So it's like, for the first time, I'm immersing in the world, so to speak, in the patrol space, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I'm liking it. You know what I'm saying? So again, is it perfect? No. There's a lot of still things wrong, but I think they're learning. I think, you know what I think they're getting? They're getting the daily grind stuff in. Like they're starting to get that night. They're getting a little flow with it now. And I like that. Light is taking a little harder. Now, yes, they need to fix them damn heroic strikes. We know.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We've got our gripes. They've got to fix those rewards. We know for the raid, you know, like what you call it, raid. But I feel good, man. I feel like they are on the right direction. So, and then this 12, I mean, I admit I didn't expect a development roadmap update with more stuff. I mean, literally in 2 weeks we're getting, you know, the Crucible testing ground thing. We're getting exotic armor stuff to play around with. And that's the other thing. Like, I'm having so much fun playing with different exotics again, dusting off exotics, seeing what all these things are doing. You know what I mean? Track the cannon right now.
Let's track your cannon, but some guy was kicking my butt the other day. I wanted to send the guy a message because he was using it perfect too. He was just like, come around the corner, boop, and just booping me. And I was just like, but I was like, I want to send him because he was just like crushing me with it. And I was like, I wasn't even mad. That's one of those, like, I'm not even mad. I'm just impressed. He was just rocking it. So that thing works for sure. No, I'm enjoying the grind too. It's like and you have stuff to grind for. It's not a gimme. I didn't just follow. And I will say, dude, those exotic drop rates, they have lessened a lot to a decent extent. I got another Saints 14 helm. That's fine. But I definitely have not seen as many.
Right.
Most places. So I'm glad they kind of tapered that back. So
yes, I agree. And to be honest, the exotic grind is real because like I haven't gotten a lot of those new exotics. The only thing I got Suros back.
I haven't got Suros.
I've got that. Like, and I'm hearing people say the same thing. Like, yo, I haven't gotten this, and I haven't gotten that. I like that. I like that. Oh, matter of fact, I actually used the faded engram because I wasn't getting exotic so much. That's all right.
I actually used it. I did too.
I used faded engram, and I got Huckleberry.
I did too. I think. Yeah. The only other one I got is that new Warlock robe, the Sanguine Alchemy. That's standing in a rift, grants an enhanced radar and marks high priority targets for you and your allies. Really? Apparently, people are talking about the whole seeing through walls thing. People are like, "Oh crap!" So I got to test that on my Warlock for PvP.
Yeah, that would be sick. I need that, man. I haven't even gotten that yet. I need that, and I need my stag ornament.
It has one of the most ornate looks to it too. When you see it, like the detail on that thing, that's one of the best looking Warlock robes I've seen. So, I mean, there's some good stuff. I mean, sound design, little tweaks, like you fire guns, they sound different. Wordcliff coil sounds different. The music when you booted up Warmind sounded so good. Oh, so good on that one. So, I mean, art, sound, music, design, function of guns, yes. Like, we're getting better on progression. We're getting better on rewards. Like there's steps. So all these things are driving that ship towards hopefully like home island come September when it's actually going to be the time where we like depart and we're like, this is the world we wanted. So
absolutely. Just wanted to respond to someone in the chat real quick. Shout out to Atlas One Gaming. He's asking, we're the developers. No, we're not the developers. But we have our suggestions. He says, you guys should make it where you they should make it where you have put the guns like the attachments where you can unlock and equip them on a gun like a silencer or extended clip. Okay, what you're going for, Atlas, it sounds like it's what we're hoping for with weapon slot changes in September, because that's what we're wanting, that randomization, that customization, that those extra perks that makes it a random roll. That's what gives the chase. That's what gives that unique feel to the guns. So I see where you're going with it. And I think that's how they intend to probably address it in September in that roadmap. So I would say stay tuned for September for that. And thanks for subscribing, by the way. That was cool. Thank you.
Yes, very cool.
No, we were developers. I'm honored.
Hey, as always, never above thinking. I mean, yeah, we're here for you guys because you guys actually enjoy listening to us ramble and rant and rave and all that fun stuff. So,
absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I'm having fun. Like, if I run around, I'm like, I don't mind just like, I've got to shoot like, 200 more people in the head with the Darcy. That's just got to happen at some point. But that is one of those things that is better in D2 without a question. Like exotics, the masterworks, the upgrade path on those. I like that piece of it. Now, your path to pick up exotics, some of them are really easy, dropping from random things. Make less of those, have some quests in there. But the masterwork path is great.
Very cool. And it gives you incentive. It's like the game within the game, because you're trying to get multiple things done at one time. And I love that, man. And it's really, I'm having fun with Warmind. I have to admit it. It's flawed. It has its issues. But, you know, like you said, the C++ with the arrow pointing up.
Yeah, it's like we see progress. Come back to me in about 3 months, and let's see where you're at. So, and that's what I was like, and I'm hoping come September, I would love to give September an A. Absolutely would love to. So,
man, if this thing could come back, what a comeback would this be?
I mean, they're trying.
I would listen. I think if it came back, I would listen to our old flashpoints when it was bad, just so we could get a gauge of the temperature.
I was the one saying before, it's like, I don't know if they can do as much to September, because I hadn't seen these monthly updates, the progress, the feel, and the weapons. Like, I hadn't had my hands on anything yet. It's like, now it's like, it's still some big changes, but they had some stuff in the works. The new game mode has me intrigued. Whatever they're doing with the weapons, their randomization, the slots, all of those are good. There's one thing I'm missing on that list on the end, and it's making armor matter. If they can give me a reason for armor to matter, stats, perks, like grenade throw distance, extra ammo, like put that stuff back in there so I can build for a PvE, so I have all the PvP, or for all the sword ammo I need if I'm going to run around and swipe people, or, I have, extra orbs falling from my helm in, Enemies of the Darkness. Like, give me the stuff back on my armor so it matters, so there's different stuff. So it cannot just say weapon randomization, because if armor doesn't matter, it's still half a game. I know weapons are what you fire, but if I'm building a character, it's what I'm wearing.
Preach. Now you're talking about language. We on the same page. We've been on the same page. Like, I'm happy. That's why I'm happy for the 29th? And then the second part of it on July. I'm happy. And by July, we'll know more about that new DLC in September and what they got planned, and hopefully that new mode.
Yeah. So that pretty much will wrap it up, guys. I know some of us are lacking sleep here, so a couple of us are going to pass out. I've got a movie to go see this afternoon, so Deadpool 2 is in my future. Looks like it should be crude but hilarious, so looking forward to all that. But yeah, it's all you guys out there. You can always find me. It's Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all those places. It's Ebontis, all of them. Follow me, subscribe, hit me with a comment, shoot me a message. Any questions? If you guys ever want to see anything answered in here and we didn't get to it, didn't catch it in chat, just let us know. I was like, we're happy to bring up, like, if we ever get to a point where we have a Q&A session, I would be a happy camper. That means we actually got people asking us stuff all the time. So that being said, that's pretty much where you can find me. What about you, man?
Yeah, man. Lord Cognito here. Iron Lord Podcast will return. We're actually going to have a fun show. It's going to be on the Inner Circle Network. Let me tell you, we're starting our E3 prediction series, man. It's going to be lit. It's going to be Nintendo's up to bat. Ebontis knows because he was a panelist of last year's Nintendo E3 prediction series. So it'll be fun. We've got some huge guests. Hopefully, Spawnwave Media, Press Start, Kofi. Who else? What else? My boy, Potentially Perfect, and Nick Tendo. So it should be really cool. And new subs in the chat today. Shout out to Fear the Beard, seeing him in the chat. Atlas One Gaming, he's still talking. I love him. He's like, you guys play on Xbox One. I play on Xbox One, and Ebontis plays on PC on Destiny. Just for the record. But and my gamer tag is Lord Cognito, all one word. Check me out. The clan is Channel 5. All the information should be in the description if you can't find it. But Lord Cognito, you will be able to find me on Xbox. But yeah, man, that's what we got this Sunday. Check us out. It's gonna be fun. We're starting that prediction series thing. It's always fun type of year. And also tonight, I'm on another podcast. It's gonna be the Planet Xbox and Iron Lord Podcast collabo podcast. And it's going to be more Xbox centric. So check us out there. Kid Smooth, Gaming Addict, who you already know. He does double duty on 2 podcasts. And yeah, it's going to be fun, man. So check us out. And Atlas One Game, thank you so much. Thank you for the compliments. It's good seeing you in the chat.
Well, all right, guys. Yeah. So to everybody out there, I never know where you guys are watching. So whether it's good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see what happens next week.
We'll see what happens next week. Next week is going to be touch and go. Everyone's schedule's a little weird.
Yeah. So who knows what next week will be. But if not, you guys know, send us a message if we miss next week. Might do a little solo video or something if you're out, or who knows. But we'll keep in touch with you guys. We'll be back as soon as we can. And we'll see you soon.
All right, guys. Peace.
Peace.